Hey, this is Pat, and today I want to take a couple minutes and talk about Peak Design. So it's a little bit different than our normal video breakdowns of gear out there, but we get asked the questions all the time when it comes to phone mounts, and Peak Design is one of, I'd say, our top 3 that we get asked about nonstop, in that it is a newer brand out there with a very sleek design to it, and a lot of people have questions out there. So I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about it. Now, I personally use quad lock for my bikes while I'm riding out there, but I typically use Peak Design when I'm traveling, going to events or going to rides or things like that, just because I find it's a little bit better on the actual aesthetic, while also the functionality when I'm out there on the road than it is while I'm on the bike. And when I'm riding off-road, I tend to have the quad lock literally locked into place. But the Peak Designs are awesome in of what they make and where they come from. So they are a San Francisco-based company, and I like that their design is overly sleek. Whereas you look at quad lock, it's a little bit bulkier. They have a 4-prong system, whereas you have a nice clean square when it comes to the cases. Now, Peak Design is usually a couple dollars more for the mounts themselves. For the entire mounts, non-charging versions, about $100. And for the charging versions, this one isn't the full mount, but it does have the charging cord in the back. You're looking at about $170 for the QI2 charging, the fast charging that Peak Design offers, and then looking about 50 to 60 bucks for the physical case itself. So a little bit more expensive out there on the market, but for good reason. So they use a locking square system in here. You can actually see the prongs built into this are open and closable by the buttons on the back, but you don't even need to use those because it'll naturally just find its home and mount up for it. And this is a ball mount version that I have on here, just to make it a little bit easier to see. But to release it, you just press those buttons and pull it away. So it uses the MagSafe system built into it while also locking with the prongs. So it's a pretty clever and cool technology. But one of the things not many people realize is built into the back of the mount is the rubber vibration dampener. So instead of having, like quad lock has a 3-prong system out there, and a lot of iPhones were having issues with that, their cameras were completely being destroyed, and Apple just gave them, like a thumbs up and told them to have a great day afterwards. So a lot of these brands started building vibration dampeners into the mounts themselves, and I have to say Peak Design probably has one of the sleekest, coolest ones out there at that premium price point. So you see the rubber pillars kind of built into it that help it absorb a little bit of vibration without going too crazy, but then the system is really on there. It's locked on there. It's not going to be released. In order to release it, you just got to press the buttons on each side and it pops off each one. So I like that. This is the ball mount, like I mentioned before, which is what we have set up on our old Ram style clamps over here on our mock-up handlebars. Just toss these on there so you can kind of see how it goes. But just showing you how easy it is to find the home. It's really as easy as that, and you have a full system, and then you press the button to release it. You can adjust them. They are made of pretty solid materials. It's not going to be going anywhere, and they use bolts to clamp down, and they come with different adapters so you can work with different thicknesses out there. I really like it. Again, you can have the option for the non-charging version or the charging version, again, for that extra step up in price. But there's also a version for mounting inside of your triple tree bolt. You have versions for the handlebars as well as a clamp when it comes down to actually attaching to your brake lever, your brake reservoirs, things like that. I'm not a huge fan of replacing OEM bolts in order to just add a phone mount. I like having them just clamped onto the handlebars. I have plenty of space on my street triple, but if you're on like an R6, using something like the stem clamp where it actually just goes in and expands inside the bolt, that might be a solid option for you because you don't have too much space when you're working with clip-ons. One of the other things I didn't mention before is the cool part. You can actually mount it. There's no specific way to mount it. You can go sideways if you like having a GPS out there. You can still control your buttons, everything like that you need, but it's just easy to easily grab it and figure out where it needs to go to find home. The other cool part, they have a lot of cool accessories like this one, which I usually toss my business cards in when I'm out there traveling. That just goes right onto the back and also pops out when I need it to. It's just an easy magnetic add-on for the bike. I know our guys over at RevZilla swear by this little feature when it comes to Peak Design because they're out shooting content out in the field, which is just a really nifty little card size. It fits in a wallet, but you have a little tripod that you can then set it up and take photos, do whatever you need. It's super adjustable and just a really sleek design. I think that is what Peak Design does the best. Is based out of San Francisco. They brought a little bit of the tech industry into mounts, and you can even see just their overall design of it. Really sleek, really cool looking. And if you don't want to get one of their phones cases, which I totally understand, it's a little bit too smooth for me. It's one of those ones I always drop in my face whenever I'm laying in bed trying to use out there. They do have an adapter you can attach to the back of whatever phone case you want to bring to it. So if you want a fully waterproof phone case, that's fine. Bring that here. You can use the adapter that gives you the mounting point on the back of whatever phone case you want to bring to it. But again, as far as just using it out there, customer usability, I like what they do with the Peak Design. They just have a nice sleek system. It's super easy to use. Honestly, the quickest mounting system out there on the market by far. Quad lock, you have to put on there and then turn a little bit and it locks into place. I'm not, against that, but I have to tip my hat to Peak Design just for their overall thing. But when you're looking at it, if that price is right for you, or if you have any questions on which one might be best for your riding, just click that info button. That'll take you over to the product pages where you can skim through all the options available that we currently have from Peak Design. Or if you need help nailing down exactly which one will work with your bike or with your phone, give our customer service agents a call. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and just taking a quick peek at Peak Design, no pun intended. I'm Pat. I'll see you in the next video.